Everybody. Okay, enough with the singing. I should have done all this technical stuff before. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, let's get started. Hi. Can I zoom in? Oh, yes, we can. We're gonna zoom in there. Okay. Can you guys see me? I'm pretty sure you guys can see me. Yeah? Yeah. Actually, I'll stand on this side. I think it'll be better. Oops. No, I can't stand on that side, actually. We're gonna have to kind of position it where you can see me. Okay, perfect. How is everybody doing today? So I am going to be talking about best foods for your gut health, okay? The biggest mistake I see people make on their journey towards their health is taking stomach medication. So they take digestive enzymes, they're taking prebiotics, probiotics, they're taking all these supplements, they're taking all, even PPI pills, they're taking all of these supplements, which this is the biggest scam that we see. You're taking all these supplements, but chances are, you guys, if you have low stomach acid, you won't be able to absorb any of the nutrients, anything from those supplements. That is why it's a big scam. That is why the moment that you get off, let's say you're on PPI medication or medication to help with your digestive enzymes or stomach acid, the moment you get off of it, now your body has to learn how to make these enzymes and produce this acid on its own. It's kind of bypassing the process. It's like as soon as you get off the medication, it's like now you're a teenager, you're a child again, learning to produce these acids and enzymes. So it's a big scam, waste of time. I'm going to show you guys how you can do this right here in your kitchen. Now, I won't be able to see the comments, so if you guys are commenting, I appreciate it. I will look at it after because my camera is flipped. So for people joining in, love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in on a Thursday. Let's get into it. First thing first, you need to test stomach acid. So what the doctors do, or what pharmacists, whatever, what they will do is that they will tell you, oh, you have low stomach acid, go take this pill, right? Without showing you ways that you actually prevent low stomach acid, without showing you ways you don't have to take the pills. Because the moment you take the pills, it's over. So let's talk about it. Stomach acid. Okay. Just a little backdrop, what is stomach acid? So stomach acid is hydrochloric acid in the body, right? And this is how your food gets broken down. Right? Stomach acid, hydrochloric acid, it's the heat in the stomach that breaks down the food. So it's what metabolizes the food, breaks it down, and it helps you absorb nutrients. It also helps you fight off bad viruses or toxins or pathogens that come through the food. So stomach acid is very important. And when you have low stomach acid, you're more susceptible to viruses like H. pylori, HSV, HPV, things like that. Also, you're more susceptible for autoimmune disease as well. So you really want to make sure that stomach acid is up to par. Because low stomach acid is the root cause of gut health issues, and then when the gut is off, that's when other organs will be off. So it all stems from stomach acid. Just so we're all on the same page. Okay, so how can we test stomach acid? First test I love to do, because it's very easy, is doing a baking soda and water test. Right? So what you want to do for this test is that you want to get an 8-ounce glass of water. Okay, 8-ounce glass water. And then you want to put in 2 to 3 tablespoons of baking soda in the water. We're going to do 1 to 2 of baking soda. Okay, you want to mix well, and then you want to drink it up. Okay, and within a minute to 3 minutes max, you should be burping. If you burp, that means that you have the right amount of stomach acid. Now, if you do not burp at all, that means that stomach acid is low, right? So let's say it's been like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, still nothing. That means that you have low stomach acid. So before we ever go and say, hey, I need some pills, we need to fix the stomach acid. So let me show you how to do that. Let me get this. Can I get that? Can I get that? Can I get that? Can I get that? Okay. Are we with me so far? Hopefully you guys can see everything. So yeah, let me know if you guys are with me so far. So stomach acid is very important before we ever look into foods that we can eat to support our gut. We want to make sure that stomach acid is good. Okay. So if the test comes back and you have low stomach acid, here are the things that you want to increase in your diet. Now, if you have heartburn, if you have stomach ulcers, then you don't want to do, if you have SIBO, SIBO, IBS, you don't want to do this. But if you don't have these things, then you can do this. So first things first is adding lemon juice to every meal. Okay? You can do a couple of squeezes, like 3 to 5 squeezes of lemon juice, and add that to every single meal. I like doing this because with lemon, it adds that like tarty flavor. Don't taste it as much. So I would add lemon. A lot of people say, can I add lime? No, because the chemical compounds in lemons are different from limes. Limes are very good for actually alkalizing the body. And this will actually make your stomach acid reduce a little bit, especially if you're just doing lemon to your meal alone. Lime to your meals alone. Just to clarify, you want to do lemons over lime. Lime is more alkalizing. So if we want to boost stomach acid and hydrochloric acid, we need to be doing lemons. Okay, now limes are good when you start with different fruits to help you absorb the nutrients from your fruits. It's like a chemistry. So you don't want to just take you don't want to just take lime juice. Sorry, lemon and lime was like, it's hard to say it so quickly. So you don't want to take lime juice. You want lemon juice. Because the compounds found in lemon helps boost stomach acid. And the only time I would recommend lime is when you're pairing it with other fruits so you can digest the nutrients better. So just to clear that up for you guys. Okay, so you want to add lemon juice, 3 to 4 squeezes every meal. Second, apple cider vinegar. Okay, you want to add this to your meals as well. Now, the reason why I like lemon, like I said, the taste is like you don't taste it, right? So much things are in with lemon anyway. So it's like, what the hell? But apple cider, it's more like a nasty or tarty taste. So both works, it's just based on preference. Now you can mix and match, that's not an issue, but it's just choosing your choice. Now, if you have GERD, acid reflux, stomach ulcers, or you just don't want to do the lemon and lime for personal reasons, then I'm going to show you foods that you can do to increase stomach acid. So first things first, my favorite is leeks. I love me some leeks. How's the back of my hair, guys, by the way? The back of my hair, by the way. Be brutally honest. Anyways, so leeks are very good. Steamed onion. This could be green onion, red onion, white onion. Onion is amazing. There's a compound in onion when you steam it. It gets released, and when you eat it, it helps boost hydrochloric acid in the gut. So steamed onion, very, very powerful. So you can do leeks, onion, dandelion greens, Oops, I said that twice. Yeah, dandelion greens are amazing. Also really good for deodorizing the body. So although it's really, really good for boosting hydrochloric acid, it's also good to deodorize. So if you notice you're waking up with a smelly breath, you're waking up just smelling like who did it, why did they do it, definitely boost up the dandelion greens. Okay, so those are the 3 foods that you want to increase. Now the 4th one would be coconut kefir. Very, very powerful to help with stomach acid. Now it has to be kefir. It has to be fermented. So if you can get your hands on coconut kefir, or you can ferment it yourself, doesn't really matter. But this is really powerful. These 4 things are powerful to add into your meals to help with stomach acid. Okay? So now that we have stomach acid out of the way, we're adding this to every meal, right? We're increasing our stomach acid. Now we can actually eat the best foods for our gut. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the tea. But before I guys the best foods, I'm going to give you guys the worst foods, okay? Now, I brought this. It's called Jamerson or Jamieson, whoever this guy is, okay? I brought him here for a reason. Okay, let me read off the ingredients to you. Or let me show you first. Because a lot of you guys love off your supplements. Can you guys see that? You're like, Zara, what supplement should I take? Zara, what this, what that, da da da. If you were in my gut mastery class, you guys already know I'm beefing with this brand. Okay? In a couple seconds. But if you're in the master class, I'm beefing with this brand. If you're not in the mastery class, no worries. You still have access to the playback. Just comment under this live playback and I'll send you the playback. Okay? I believe it's $30 something, something crazy, something silly like that. Some little silly, whatever. But yeah, if you want the playback. If you don't want the playback, it's okay. But yes, let me talk about this. This is vitamin C, right? So we have a picture of the oranges. It says supports healthy immune system, right? Vitamin C supports your immune system. But when we look at vitamin C capsules, first of all, it's processed, right? It has like this ash on it. Very processed. There's artificial color on it. If you look close, there's like little dots of orange. And then we look at the ingredients and we're like, where's the vitamin C? This is the ingredients, okay? Dextrose, natural orange flavor, cellulose, vegetable stearic acid, sugarlose. So there's sugar in this. People are always saying, oh, I'm low sugar. Your supplements got sugar. Did y'all know that? No? Okay, now you do. Right, so your supplements have sugar. Okay, there's artificial color. There is magnesium citrate. And there's silica. Where's the vitamin C? These supplements don't even have what they claim to be the marketing, which is vitamin C. Plus, it's processed. We already know that food that's been through 1 or 2 processes is considered, less nutritious, right? And when I say processes, there's 2 types of processing. There's ultra processed food, which is like your fried food, your potato chips, things that have been ultra processed, but there's no nutrients, right? You get more nutrients from an actual potato than you do from a potato chip. You get more nutrients from an actual, instead of applesauce, right? We know this, right? Because the more you process your food, the less nutrients. Same thing when it comes to, like when you're making like processed juices, right? With these purees, like when you puree vegetables or you puree food, you're getting less nutrients and more sugar. So that spikes blood sugar. So that's why a lot of people make the mistake and they say, oh, I should go on a juice fast. Not saying that juice fasting is not crucial. What I'm saying is that when you juice fruits that are too sweet, that is when you can spike blood sugar levels. Because when you're juicing fruits, you're extracting. So now you're extracting at a high level. And when you're eating fruits that are high glycemic, so like think like a pineapple or mango, those are like sweet fruits, bananas, right? That's gonna send your blood pressure to the moon, right? That's why it's always good to use vegetables like beets, dark leafy greens, celery, green apples, because they're low on the glycemic level. But yes, to bring this back to this tangent, these supplements are not needed. Everyone always asks are like, what is the best probiotics? What's the best prebiotics? What supplement should I take for my gut? You don't need supplements. Supplements are processed. Okay? When you look at the ingredients, there's not even the ingredient that you're even needing. Because when I look at here, there's vitamin C. There's ascorbic acid, which is like their form of vitamin C. When you do research on ascorbic acid, it comes from a family of mold, right? So we have to do our research. I typically say if you can't pronounce an ingredient, or if you don't know what that ingredient means, don't buy it, right? Vitamin C should just be vitamin C. Okay, if there's more, we don't do it. And the reason why that you can't absorb vitamin C is not even because you're not having it in your diet. A lot of people who are vitamin C deficient, they are the ones that are taking up all the oranges at the grocery store. But the reason why they cannot absorb it is because of their stomach acid. That's why in the beginning of the video, I showed you guys how to boost stomach acid. You can absorb more nutrients from your food. The problem is not the food that you're eating. If you're iron, zinc deficient, the problem is, the meat. I need more red meat. Okay, that's not the issue, because when you do eat the red meat, you're still iron deficient. It's because stomach acid. And meat actually affects stomach acid. So it's like, you see how it's just working against each other? And then you're going to have to be on iron pills for the rest of your life. Okay, that's how they got you, right? Right. So now, I want to talk about the worst foods for your gut. First, medication supplements. Because your body should be able to naturally manufacture nutrients from your food. If you rely on supplements, even the word supplement, your body's going to be dependent on supplements. When you stop taking supplements, you can't find them anymore, or it's getting too expensive, whatever the case is, that is when your body now has to learn how to manufacture minerals on its own. It's like learning how to do the splits. You practice every day, and then you stop practicing, and then now you can't do the splits. You're 57, and it's like, it's going to take you some time, right? Who wants to do that? I'm also going to check if we're still live. Let me just check. Okay. Okay, guys. We're live still. Okay. And I'm also unable to read the comments. The people who are coming in, I want to refresh. And I'm unable to see the comments because the camera's flipped, so you guys can read the board. So I will be going over questions at the end, so save them, and I will be answering them, okay? So I just want to let you guys know, for the people who are coming in, not running you guys, love you guys. Now, worst foods, supplements, okay? Because your body's going to be dependent on them. So if you want to heal your naturally and not be on medication for the rest of your life, first things first, any form of supplements or medication is a big scam. The only one that I would recommend that you guys is magnesium, gold, silver, copper. Those are the only 4 supplements that you should be on, because those are the four minerals that have been stripped from our soil. So it's not impossible per se, but it's highly unlikely that you are getting enough gold, silver, and copper in your diet. Okay, especially if you're eating a standard American diet, you are gold deficient, you're copper deficient. And we see this all the time because a lot of people have mental issues, right? When you're low in gold, particularly silver, copper, it all reflects your vagus nerve and your mental health, because your vagus nerve is the connection from your brain to your gut, right? So if the gut's off and the vagus nerve, the nervous system, is off as well, then it's going to cause depression, anxiety, all these things, BPD, hallucinations, schizophrenia, dementia, all that stuff. Okay? Because that access is not being replenished with the mineral, which is gold. Gold is really important. It balances your right and left hemisphere of the brain. So for people who ask me, girl, how you study, you have all these things going on, you're studying, you're doing all these certifications, all that stuff. It's because I take gold. Like my brain's too quick because I'm on gold. Okay, gold, silver, copper. But you guys can also reach out to me personally if you guys want to know like what brands I use. But yeah, those are things that are not as public though, I will say. But yeah, that's why I'm quick. And a lot of people nowadays, they're not as quick because, like I said, like gold's taken out of our soil, silver not in our soil, so we need to supplement those. But yeah, supplements, big no. Second thing that triggers your gut is dyes. So like your red dyes, artificial flavors. Can I spell? Probably not. Artificial flavors. So let's look at like, let's say Fruit Loops. Some of them are being dyed with like beetroots now, but if you look at the ingredients, especially in the United States, a lot of it has like red 30, yellow 55, like all these things. Even toothpaste nowadays has these red coloring and artificial flavors, aspartame in it. So you don't want to take that. Aspartame mainly found in gum. So a lot of my gum chewers, that's a big no-no. That's also affecting your gut health because that aspartame. Okay, because even if you're not swallowing gum, it's still touching your tongue most of the time because you blow bubbles on it too. So anything that touches the tongue goes through the process of your digestive system. So anything that touches the tongue will signal to the pancreas. So anything on the tongue will be metabolized. Doesn't matter if you swallow it or not. So gum is a big issue. So I'm also going to put that here, gum. It's affecting a lot of people's gut. 3, everyone's going to hate this, caffeine. Because caffeine is a hell of a drug, and we all know it. It messes the adrenal glands, it messes with your gut, it messes with your stomach acid as well. Caffeine. Doesn't matter what form of caffeine. If there's caffeine in it, it gotta go. A lot of people rely on caffeine because it's like it is a drug, right? So the more you take caffeine, the more your body's gonna need it. And then once it's like breaking like a cigarette addiction or breaking any addiction. So we need to get off this. Now, if you need something to boost you up in the morning, literally what people don't realize is that you can actually like make your energy with yourself, right? I do this every single morning with my clients. I jump, right? 10 minutes every morning to jump. What this does is that it boosts circulation. A lot of people that are low energy, they crash throughout the day and they're mineral deficient, they lack circulation, right? Because nutrients gets passed down to the blood, and it's the blood's job to carry the nutrients to different parts of the body. So if you're not moving your body, then that's also contributing to you having mineral deficiencies. So it starts in the gut, but also simultaneously you need to be moving your body. So every morning, 5 to 10 minutes, I'm jumping. And I'm already increasing my mineral absorption rate by 60%. So this is very powerful, and I always say this, what's easy to do is easy not to do. Okay, let me take a little break actually. Let me just see what's going on here. How we feeling so far, guys? How we feeling so far? David is commenting up a storm. David, I'm going to get back to you in a second. David, like up this live. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to answer these comments in a second, but I appreciate you for being here. Can't really see. I only can see like a couple comments, but I'm just here to catch a little breath. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Okay. So, caffeine. Yes, it's going to be an interesting one to break, but it has to be broken because the more you do caffeine, the more it's going to affect your hormones, the more it's going to affect your adrenals. Adrenals are really important for your body. Not only is it important for the endocrine system, which is one of your major systems in the body, right? The major systems for healing in the body. So if the endocrine system is off, it's deregulated, then the healing process is going to be conflicted. And coffee is the main catalyst. Okay? So those are the 3 main ones. I'm going to continue on. Okay. Is this stable? Okay. Number 4, refined sugar. Refined sugar. This is like a pretty basic one. I'm gonna call this ultra processed food because we all know that most food has to go through at least one process. But if it's 2 or more processes, this is what we call ultra processed food. So you're pretty much eating the junk part of the food. And that's where the term junk comes from. Okay, so six. This is going to be wheat, gluten, starch, dairy, store-bought meats. This is all going to be together. Okay. And I want you guys to play. I want you guys to pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Now, refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup is a big one, right? And a lot of people get this confused. They're like, okay, they hear fructose and they think, oh, fruit sugar. Okay, fruit sugar must be bad. They hear high fructose corn, they're like, okay, fruit sugar is bad. Here's the problem. Fruit is in its natural form, right? Fruit is based on carbon, right? Sugar. Carbon is sugar, right? Sugar is a carbon-based chain. Same with fruits, same with carbohydrates. That's literally in the name. Carbon hydrogen. So that's a chain. But now, when you put a flame, so when you extract the fructose from fruit and you put a flame to it, you're boiling it, now you're changing the molecular structure. So it's like a chemistry, you're changing the structure. So as soon as you extract fructose from the fruit, put it on a flame, heat it up, now it becomes high fructose corn syrup, and now it becomes a different structure, refined sugar, and that is what attacks the body. That's what parasites love, that's what viruses love to feed off of. Now, with ultra-processed food, same thing what I mentioned earlier, like more than 2 processes is like ultra-processed, and we don't want that because each processing step is extracting nutrients from the food. That's why we need to go back to our root, which is eating whole foods. And then we have wheat, gluten, starch, dairy, store-bought meats. So let me break this down. So wheat, gluten, starch. These are all complex carbohydrates. So these are all complex sugars. So they're still sugars, right? Because carbohydrates is a sugar, is like a sugar compound thing going on. So with wheat, gluten, starch, this is what, feeds the yeast and candida in the gut. This is what feeds the bad bacteria in the gut. Okay, and if you guys want a reference to know, okay, what foods feed bad gut bacteria, just think of food that rots. And there's a difference between rotting and fermentation. Fermentation has good bacteria and they're feeding on it. That means it's healthy, right? If good bacteria can come and grow and say, "Ooh, this is something that we need. This is, nutrients for us," then that's good, right? But things that rot, that means too much bad bacteria is feeding off of it, or harmful bacteria is feeding off of it. We'll say harmful. Because good and bad is subjective technically. We'll say harmful. Because these things can harm you. What happens when you leave, let's say, white bread out for too long? It gets stale, and then it has a little, mold spots on them. So these things mold in the gut, especially if you have low stomach acid, it's going to mold in your stomach. You don't want that because that is what increases our risk of viruses, parasites, H. pylori staph, all of these things. This is why it's really hard to break these habits of eating wheat, gluten, starches. It's very hard. Because especially if you're already used to having all that sugar, right? You probably have a virus or bad bacteria that's attached to it. And remember, bacteria is very smart. We are bacteria. And what do we want to do? We want to survive, right? We don't want to die. So when we sense danger, what do? We try to protect ourselves. Same thing with gut bacteria. Same thing with parasites. Same thing with viruses, right? They want to hijack your body because they need a host. Same with us, right? Who wants to not have a host? Who doesn't? Who wants to be homeless, right? We'll do everything that in our power to be protected and have a roof over our head, right? I'm making that analogy because that's literally what parasites and viruses are doing in your gut. So people say like, oh, I can't break these habits. It's not always you, right? The good news is that if this is not your thought process, this is also bacteria, viruses hijacking your emotional state, your thought process. Because with the vagus nerve, the gut and brain axis are connected. So what you're feeling here, gets translated up here. So emotions come from here and get translated from up here. Okay, that's why it's really important to get rid of these foods. Now, store-bought meat, the reason why I talk about this is because store-bought meat is it's a very gross culture, right? Because meat, who knows how long that meat's been sitting there, right? We know meat rots because you can't leave meat out for that long. Let's face it, right? Even if it is in the fridge when you buy it. How long you don't leave meat, even if it's in your fridge, you don't leave meat in your fridge for weeks because it's gonna rot. And people fail to understand that's the same thing that's happening in the grocery store. The only difference is that they're pumping it with carbon monoxide, these red dyes, so that it looks like it didn't rot. Pumped up with, don't get started with the estrogen, pumped up with estrogen, all of these growth hormones. And that's why women in today's generation are getting their period a lot earlier. Because estrogen is a growth hormone, right? Estrogen is the reason why women have big breasts, hips, big butt, big butt too, right? With the estrogen, so that's highly in the meat today. So if you are eating meat, I advise you to go to the butcher, go to an ethical farm, but don't buy store-bought meat. Okay, even if you're on the raw carnivore, please don't be getting your meat from the grocery store. I beg you. Woo! Woo! I beg you, okay? Anyways, that was a word. How are we feeling right now? That was a word. How are we feeling? Hi, guys. How are we feeling? Yes, David said, I feel like caffeine is an addiction. Definitely. Hi, Renesha. Guys, I can't see the comments as of now, but as of before, but I'm just checking in, right? But yeah, I'm gonna come back to you guys, so make sure you guys have questions and I will respond. Okay, let's get into it. So now you're like, okay, girl, what are the best foods? Like, we've been here. Hold on, you're gonna get it. Hold on. Okay, let's talk about the best foods for your gut. Yes, and let's start with prebiotics. Okay. You don't need any prebiotic pills. You don't need that BS. What you do need is some dandelion greens. I love dandelion greens, okay? If you have a garden, you can also, it's not dandelion season for me, but if you have a garden that you intentionally have dandelions growing and things like that, you can take the leaves, wash them, and put that in your salad, or you can go to the grocery store. But dandelion greens, and there's a reason why they grow in abundance, because dandelions are so healing, especially for people who live in North America. So healing, right? Like so healing for us. So dandelion greens are main probiotics, right? Onions, and then tiger nuts, okay? So onions are amazing as well. So all form of the onion family. So like chives, green onions, spring onions, scallion. I mean, those are pretty much the same things, but different names. I'm so funny. Red onion, yellow onions, things like that. Very, very powerful. Scallions, whatever, you know. Yeah, so that's really good. Forgot the name. Tiger nut, very good as well. With nuts, you want to soak them though. Before you eat your nuts, you want to soak them for at least like 5 hours because you'll absorb more nutrients that way. So nuts have a lot of phytic acid when you're just eating them, like even roasted nuts. So it's really powerful if you soak them so you can absorb more nutrients. So you can get more of the prebiotics. So that's really good. Dandelion greens, I already hit that one. Very, very good as a prebiotic. So prebiotic is really great because it's like, so just to break down the name, like biotic means life, so pre-life. So prebiotics is really good to take first thing in the morning. You can get like once a week. Doesn't need to be every day. And typically it's good to take prebiotics after doing a fast, to break your fast, to help bring more of the good gut bacteria, like make the environment really safe for them. I'm talking like it's a little baby, you know? Yeah, but you want to make the environment really safe. Think of it like a baby. I think it would be more a great analogy for you. Prebiotics is like the home. We don't want a broken home. You don't want any leaks. You don't want any floods in your home because then it's like, well, it's my home. Like my home has no good foundation. So think of your prebiotics like a foundation for your gut. This is gonna really help build that foundation. These 3 power foods, right? So I would take it in the morning, not every day, you know, times a day. I mean, not a couple times. Sorry, a couple times a week. Very, very good. Very good. You can have salad. You could eat them just straight like that. Those kind of things. Okay. Now let's talk about probiotics. This is really good. Probiotics, you want those more often. So I would say once a day, throw them in there. So just for clarity, prebiotics a couple times a week. Really good at fast, really good after straining from food for a long time. If you did the mistake by taking antibiotics, then prebiotics would be your next route. So just want to let you guys know, you never want to take any like antibiotic medication. And I'll let you guys know a good alternative for antibiotics. But really, it's just eliminating bad viruses, only bad viruses. Because antibiotics gets rid of everything, good gut bacteria and bad gut bacteria. So stay to the end. I'll show you guys a good antibiotics alternative. So probiotics, of course, you want your sauerkraut. That's like an OG, right? Sauerkraut's amazing. Now, the biggest mistake I see people make is that they buy sauerkraut or pickled vegetables from the dry aisle. Like the same pasta. No. Prebiotics is pro-life. If you buy something from the dry aisle or a cabinet aisle, there's no life, right? Living foods need to be in the fridge. And God knows how long those pickles have been on the shelf. Maybe a week. So there's no life in there. You want to make sure that you're always getting your sauerkraut from the fridge aisle. Even your coconut kefir. Coconut kefir, amazing probiotic. Amazing. Pickled vegetables, pickled veg. Miso is great as well. Things like this. Amazing probiotics. Fermented food. And then you want, of course, fruits. You guys know it, all fruits. Mainly like your plums, peaches, things like that, but fruits. High fiber. Okay, apples, really good probiotics. Yes, coconut kefir, you want to get that from the fridge aisle. Pickled vegetables, whether that's onions, whether that's cucumber or pickle, whatever, or whether that's radish, turnip, whatever it is, make sure you get it from the fridge. Miso, same thing. Make sure that ingredients are clean. Make sure that there's no soybean oils. Make sure that there's no oils, right? Heavy oils in the miso paste or anything that it shouldn't be in there. And then fruits, plums, fruits with like those nice skins, so the plum, peaches, apples, things like that. Very, very, very amazing for probiotics. Okay, these are the most powerful foods for the gut. It's gonna bring life back into your gut. It's gonna help support the good gut bacteria. So this is very, very powerful. Okay, with probiotics, this would be more frequently. But the main takeaway from everything is that you want to eliminate foods that cause yeast and candida overgrowth. Okay, that's your wheat, gluten, dairy, and starches. Now you want to substitute for more fruit-based grains, right? So if you want to do rice, quinoa, right? If you want white flour or white breads, you can switch to teff. Teff is flour. It's amazing for bread, right? Naturally gluten-free. It's an ancient grain from Africa. I love me some injera. Chef's kiss. Okay, it's also great if you're starting the alkaline journey as well. So you really want to make those switches. Powerful for your gut. Okay, if you want to not struggle with your gut anymore, like you've been struggling, you know, you're having issues with bloating, or you wake up, you're feeling constipated, you feel sluggish, wake up with BO, skin issues, you know, red eyes, dark under eyes, you know, patches on the face. Let's say you have like thyroid, swollen thyroid, you wake up puffy, hair loss, and you know, your nails are not growing. Like you just feel like you're falling apart, you're stressed, maybe period issues. This is all a sign of your gut. So to tie it all in, the root cause is stomach acid. When you fix stomach acid, okay, now you need to fix your circulation. We talked about that. And then now it's in the foods that you eat every day. Okay, if you guys need more help on this, I have another like an intimate free guide that you guys can check out. I'll put in the description. And I also have the gut mastery class replay where I walk you through step by step what to actually do with this information, when to eat these foods, when not to eat these foods, and I give you my gut health plans structured like 9 a.m. do this, 10 a.m. do that. So if you want more of like a do this, do that kind of guide, check out the gut mastery. It's you have the master class and you also have the guide that goes with it, so you can take it as for yourself. Okay, so that's it. Let me see what comments are you guys giving me. Let me flip the camera. Let me see. You got, I don't know, today, I'm gonna be so transparent. Today I'm like, I don't know if I like how my hair is down, but I will be okay. Okay, I'm reading some of the comments from the top. Okay, thank you so much, David, for the comments. David asked in the very beginning, am I streaming on anything else? Not currently. I'm only streaming on YouTube. I should have streamed this on TikTok and some of my other platforms, but I don't. Yes, you put lemon water. These gifts. Okay, like that question. David said, what pasta should I make from scratch? Now, if you make pasta from scratch, I'm going to honor that and say, that's amazing, right? But what you can substitute for wheat pasta is that you can do chickpea pasta, quinoa pasta. There's even teff pasta, amaranth pasta. There's a lot of pastas you can make, or that are not that you can make, but are there from scratch. Very, very good. And they're also high in protein, so it keep you full longer. Oh, you're making it right now. You should make some chickpea pasta from scratch. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Okay, guys. I appreciate you guys for being in. I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions, comment them. Well, for people who are watching the playback, comment them in the comments and I'll get back to you guys. Bye.